Hello everyone and welcome back to Flo's Corner. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make peach pie / peach empanadas the shortcut way. So please stay tuned. So here I'm going to be using this peach fruit filling topping that you can buy normally in the pie section that is right above your pie crust in your local supermarket. So the fruit filling is normally the actual fruit cut up. You can see here like peach slices, and it's like this gooey kind of syrupy filling. I did taste some myself from the can and it actually tastes pretty nice, but I'm just going to tweak it just a little bit. So because today is the first day of fall, I'm going to add some cinnamon and some nutmeg to the filling. I had cut up the peach slices into little chunks. I just wanted to give these pies a little bit more of autumn vibes. So I added about 5 to 6 dashes of cinnamon and 1 dash of nutmeg, and then I placed this mixture into the refrigerator to get started on the pie crust. So I am making a homemade pie crust. You can use pie crust that's already made. The ingredients are similar to my apple pie crust as well. Don't forget to check out that video. I'll link it in the description box below. I will have the ingredients for the pie crust as well in the description box, so check it out. One crucial tip I have when you're making your pie crust is to use a cheese grater to grate your butter, because you need very cold butter when making pie crust. That's what gives it its flaky taste and texture. So it is super easy to use the butter to incorporate into the flour while it's grated versus in small chunks. The key to a really good pie crust is not to let the butter melt. You really want all your ingredients to be super cold. So if you feel that the butter is melting a lot, please place it into the fridge. It may take a little bit to actually get the hang of making a really nice pie crust, but with practice you'll get it in due time. You don't need a lot of ingredients to make pie crust. That's why I love to make homemade pie crust, because it is fairly simple, only needing flour, sugar, butter, and water. And there is no need for any type of mixer or stand mixer or hand mixer or anything. You can use your hand or a spatula to incorporate all the ingredients for your pie crust dough. I enjoy when the autumn season comes rolling around, because you really get to make very nice and fulfilling warm pies and all kinds of really nice bakes that brings the family close together. I would always say that my favorite season is winter, but the older I get, the more I really enjoy the fall autumn season. So please comment below what your favorite season is. So here I'm just adding some flour to my silicone mat, and I'm just going to knead my pie crust dough just for a couple of seconds just to get it more pliable to work with. You don't want to over knead it too much, because like I said, you don't want your butter and your ingredients to start feeling warm, because you are not going to get that flaky pie crust. So you just want to knead it just slightly for maybe about 20 to 30 seconds, and then you're going to break it in half into 2 different sections, flatten them down, and then place them away into the refrigerator. You can store them for up to 2 hours, but for this time I only stored it for about 45 minutes, and I still achieved that really nice pie flaky crust that was absolutely scrumptious. So here is the dough out of the refrigerator. I'm just kind of squeezing it a little bit just to soften it up just a bit, so that I can make it more easier to work with. So because we're going to be making these into the small little peach pies and empanadas, I tried to roll out the dough very thin, maybe about 1 inch in diameter the most. We are going to be using circle cookie cutters for this type of dessert. So you can use any size circular cutter that you choose. I wanted to do the peach pies kind of like a medium to large size, and then I wanted to make the empanadas on the larger side because we're going to need to fold them over. This is a complete baking tutorial. There is no need to fry anything for this recipe. So here is the larger circle that I'm going to use for the empanadas. I'm going to add some of the peach filling. You want to make sure that you don't overfill, because you don't want the empanadas to burst. Now you're going to take one side and you're going to fold it over to the other end. Just try to make sure that they both actually meet evenly. Press down on the edges to make sure that it is secure. And then now you're going to take a fork and you are going to crimp around the edges. This will help the mixture to stay inside instead of bursting out of the seams. I also recommend to flip it over and do it on the other side as well. Now onto the peach pies. You can take about a tablespoon amount of the peach filling and you are going to place it into the middle of the circle. Take another circular size of the dough and you are going to spread around the edges. This is just to get it to stretch out a little bit because you are going to place this piece over the top. Place the top crust over the bottom crust. Make sure to have the edges in uniform with one another. You can pinch the dough to make sure that the dough meets each other, and then you are going to take the fork again and then you are going to crimp the edges on both sides. It is optional if you would like to have your crust have a little design at the top, but that's up to your discretion. So now I'm going to do the same for the remainder of the dough. Another quick tip I have is for all the pies that you make, after each one, please place into the refrigerator so that it can stay chilled. So for these pies, I didn't want to use the regular egg wash that you normally would use, so I used some melted butter on top so I can really get a nice buttery taste. Either or will still give you a really nice flaky golden crust, so it doesn't matter whether you use egg wash or butter instead. So this step is optional as well. I just took some cane sugar and I'm just going to sprinkle them on the top of all of the pies. I feel that it gives it a really nice taste when on top of the butter, and it also gives it a nice look as well. So I baked these pies on 400 for about 50 minutes. And there you have it. These came out so super scrumptious, so good, so nice, so yummy. I'm telling y'all. The cinnamon and the nutmeg added to the mixture really made a huge difference. It almost tasted like peach cobbler, just a little bit, but the end result was absolutely delicious. But I thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!